Hello, Eurovision friends. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, Eurovision Histories, for my attempt of doing a prediction for semi-final 2. I'm a bit scared because my prediction for semi 1 wasn't very correct, unfortunately. But you know, they say when you fall off a horse, get right back on it. And that's what I'm trying to do in this video. I'm going to use the tier list again. We have sure qualifier and likely qualifier, the green categories. Then I have a question mark category where I'll put the songs that I'm not sure about, and then likely non-qualifier and non-qualifier. At the end of the video, I have to have 10 in the 2 green categories and 6 songs in the red categories. This should be a lot of fun because this is even more open, semi 2 is, than semi 1, I think. And I included some of your hot takes as well. Some takeaways maybe from what happened in semi 1, which shocked a lot of people, including myself. Maybe being in a national language is actually an advantage because all national language entries qualified and all the entries that did not qualify were completely in English. So that could be a complete coincidence, and the reason for the non-qualification were a lot of other factors. But, and I talked about this in my Kai phenomenon video, so I'm a bit annoyed with myself that I didn't think of that when doing the prediction for semi 1. But it feels like we have so many national language entries in Eurovision this year. It feels like with the world feeling so insecure, people go back to regional identities, they select songs in the national language, and then they probably also like songs in other national languages. So that's the beauty of Eurovision, that you can love your own regional or national identity and then appreciate everyone else's as well. And that might be one of the reasons why national language entries did so well in semi 1. So I'll try to keep that in mind. And then what else did I have? The running order doesn't seem to be as important as it was in other editions, or maybe it never was important and it was just a coincidence. But the last 2 songs in semi 1 didn't make it, which surprised me a lot. Then we had a lot of high impact staging in that semi-final, and arguably Belgium and Cyprus suffered from that because they were also very high impact. And then maybe Cyprus and Belgium were just too similar and canceled each other out a bit. People that liked this sort of music didn't know which one to choose, or what. Some chose Belgium, some chose Cyprus, and in the end it wasn't enough for either of them. So that's also something to think about. I also have diaspora and who is voting in the semi-final in mind when doing the prediction. Germany, the UK, and France are the 3 automatic qualifiers also voting in the semi-final. Let's get right to it before I start rambling too much. First entry we have is Gojo Milkshake Man for Australia. This is a televote only semi-final, obviously. This song is catchy, it's fun, the performance is memorable, I think. This whole thing where he goes into the milkshake cup and changes outfits like a magician is, I think, something that people will remember. So even though this is first in the running order, I am pretty positive about its chances. The thing I thought about is we also have Malta, we have Finland in the semi-final, and a few others that could be considered fun entries, Ireland, for example. So maybe some of them will not make it. However, I am always also underestimating Australia's chances for some reason. I don't really know why. And so for now, I'll put Australia in the question mark category, but I think at the end of the video, they will be in the I'll put it in the qualifier for now. Next up, oh, and I also have a comment, I think. Jude says, I honestly don't care about the other 9. Get Australia in and I'm a happy man. All right, let's see what happens tomorrow. Then we have Nina Žižić and Dobro došli. Maybe it's a plus that this is in a national language. It is a ballad, but there are more ballads in this semi-final than there were in semi 1, and only a single one, Portugal, made it through to the final. I love this, and I can vote in this semi-final because Germany gets to vote, so this will get 40 votes, I think, from our household, because it needs the support, I think, because Montenegro doesn't have the biggest track record, the best track record when it comes to televoting. They only have really Serbia in this semi-final, and so they are in trouble, I do believe. Also, 6 songs are not qualifying, 1 more than in semi-final 1. It is a great song. She has a lot of charisma and sings this really well. but I am a bit worried. So for now, I'll put this here because I still want to keep a bit of hope for this. But we also have Serbia coming up later on, also a ballot which might take a few votes away, or a lot of votes actually, from Montenegro, unfortunately. And the Mr. Pushy says, well, now I think literally anything is possible. That might be a fallacy, but I know what you mean. And he says, my hot take, Montenegro and Georgia both go through. Maybe Mr. Pushy is pushing it a little bit there, but we shall see what happens. Then we have Emmy with Like a Party. This is one of the fun songs where I'm not quite sure how this will work. This has the UK voting in its semi-final, which might help. Unfortunately, Norway is not in the semi-final. Emmy is from Norway. That might have helped, but it is kind of a Nordic sounding song, if that makes sense. So maybe Denmark. And who else is in here? Only Denmark? No, that can't be right. Finland, sorry. Denmark and Finland will maybe go for this as well for a fun entry. I don't know. The staging is kind of fun. I think this could appeal to a younger demographic, especially. But Luxembourg feels like that too. And so maybe they cancel each other out like Belgium and Cyprus maybe did. So I will put this in the likely non-qualifier for now. Sorry, Ireland. Oh, and I have a comment. I think that Ireland will qualify and Greece won't. That's an interesting take from Gugas. We shall see what happens. Then Tautumetas, Burman Laimi. If what I said is right, and people look for traditional national identities and love entries that feel authentic, then this should qualify, actually. I am still worried because it's just a very specific entry, very unique. I really like it. I'm just not sure how people all over Europe will react to this. Latvia has the UK, Ireland, and Lithuania voting for them, which could help, actually, because they usually vote for Latvian entries. Let's see. I'll put this in the question mark category for now because I'm not sure at this point. Do I have a comment? Yes. Riding on Portugal's Back, the calmest song of semi-final 2, have now a bigger chance to qualify. Not sure whether I would say that Latvia is a calm song necessarily. It is kind of stripped down, but it is still not calm when it comes to the instrumentation, if that makes sense. I would say that it's Latvia and Serbia, so Michael thinks that Latvia and Serbia will make it in the end. Next up, it's Park and Survivor. I was positively surprised by the rehearsal clip. It does feel quite high intensity, so now that Belgium and Cyprus didn't make it, I'm a bit less sure about its chances. The song is still not quite there, and we also saw in Semi 1 that the songs that I thought were not very good sometimes, or lacking something that viewers can really get into, did not make it, even though the staging was great and the vocals were pretty good as well. So for now, I think I would put Armenia in the likely non-qualifier category. Then I have a comment. Armenia will qualify because of the staging better than expected. Maybe that will happen, or maybe not. Who knows? Then there's Austria, JJ with Wasted Love, one of the big favorites to win. For obvious reasons, lots of people love the song. The staging is, I think, a huge risk because it's black and white. People might be confused by it, maybe, or they might love it. I'm not quite sure yet how they will react. We saw the recap of Semi 2 in Semi 1 that they showed, and they showed a bit more than we saw in the rehearsal clip. It all looks very dramatic, very cinematic, and that could really work, especially with the juries. I'm not sure, seeing that the high-intensity Belgian and Cypriot entries did not work all that well, whether this will, and also high male vocals seem to be not as well liked by Europe as they are by the fan community. I mean, what am I talking about? I think this is qualifying rather definitely. I wouldn't have it as a sure qualifier, but this will qualify, I'm quite sure. I'm not sure about its winning chances at the moment. It is very impactful. I want to see the full performance, actually, to talk more about that. And then I had a comment too. Kevin Sika says, I'll play all in, but Austria will not qualify. I am almost sure that that won't happen. Then we have the first big five country performing. I included them because it shows you a bit the flow of the show. And this is a good break, I think, after the very intense, dramatic Austrian entry. We have an intense but happy and colorful UK entry. Then we have, and also having Austria and Greece, as you can see here, right after each other would not be great for either of them. So having the UK in between them is a good thing, I think. Claudia staging after the photos were released, a lot of people weren't happy with. Then the rehearsal clip was released. People seem to be happier. I think this is such an impressive vocal performance. And also the staging helps this, even though it might be a bit too high impact. People seem to like less high impact stuff this year, but maybe it was also only the people voting in semi one. We don't really know that. Anyway, I think Greece is in it with a very good chance of qualifying, so I'll put this in the likely qualifier pile. They do have the UK voting here. They have Ireland voting here. She has a big following as well on social media, so this should be fine, I think. Next up, we have Katharsis and Tavo Akis. This is another one where I saw a few comments that this is very high intensity and people don't like that maybe, but Lithuania has the UK, Ireland, Latvia voting in its semi, and also Georgia. There used to be a bit of a connection there for reasons that I never understood, but it was there. So they have gotten a very good deal when it comes to the countries voting in the semifinal. Germany, UK as well. UK I did say already, but Germany as well. That will help. This is a vibe that maybe some people in Europe don't want to feel. They want a bit of distraction, but I still think, especially in this semifinal, this will stand out. The semifinal is more fun entries and the ballads, and this is one that really stands out in the semifinal. And with everyone voting in this semi as well, I would actually say this is the first one I put in the sure qualifier pile. Maybe that's wrong, but let's see. Next up, it is Mirjana Conte and serving for Malta. I thought for a second, maybe this is the one that suffers between Austria and Finland. Maybe this gets outshone, is that the word? Outshone by the Finnish performance, which comes much later and is in a similar vein when it comes to the message of the song. But this was very viral on social media. People will talk about the controversy as well. But I'm just not all 100% sure. Maybe more likely qualifier, but for now I'll leave it in the question mark category just to have more to move around later on. There is a hot take by Akanichts who says Malta will not qualify due to the concurrence, the competition by Finland. So someone else who might see that as well. Then we have Mariam Shengelia for Georgia. A good staging, I think, more or less for this song, especially the backing dancers in the traditional outfits adds a bit of, depth to the whole thing. She is a great performer, I think. She sings it well. The outfit I wouldn't have chosen, but it looks okay, I think. The thing is, the song I just think is not really good enough. After last night, I'm not sure anymore about anything really, but I would put this in the sure non-qualifier, actually, for now. Then we have France, Luan and Maman. A bit of a weird choice putting this right after the ballad from Georgia, but that is a great two-song lead-in for Sissel from Denmark with Hallucination. Sorry, the comment was already there. This might also be in a bit of trouble, even though it is a very radio-friendly pop song, and the casual viewers, which we maybe forgot about predicting Semi 1, might go for this more than for some of the more out-there entries. She sings it well. She's a great singer. The staging is an upgrade from the national final, but I still feel like this might not do all that well. Denmark has Finland, maybe, but otherwise I don't really know 100% who would vote for this. Maybe Germany, maybe Australia, maybe Ireland, but I'm worried for Denmark making it, actually. And then I had the comment already there. Bryan Riansson from Iceland says, I just want my neighbors, Denmark, to qualify. I love Sissel and her song. Love that she is Faroese. If we Icelanders love the Faroe Islands. She would be the first participant from the Faroe Islands making it to the Eurovision final, which would be really cool. Then we have Adonis with Kiss Kiss Goodbye for Czechia. I listened to the songs again, taking a walk in the park, literally, and this stood out as a very good song to me. So a lot of people have commented that they're worried about this because it's so standard, it's not that special, and they think that the special songs made it in semi-1. I think this is not a sure qualifier, but I do believe that his voice also people will recognize as good. I'll put this in the likely qualifier category. The song is quite catchy and quite standard, and people might gravitate towards that. Czechia doesn't have a lot of televote support, unfortunately, but I still think that it will be enough to make it. Then it's Laura Thorne with La Poupée Monte Le Son. Again, I have the comment there already, sorry. Let's read it then. If Cyprus and Belgium cancel each other out, Luxembourg and Ireland might also cancel each other out. That's an interesting take. Both of these are appealing, I think, to a younger demographic, maybe. But listening to the songs, I also felt like this was quite a catchy, good song. The staging is a big upgrade. She looks very charismatic as well. But this is another one that I'm quite unsure about. So lots of stuff to change after we are through with this at the end of the video. And then we have Yuval Raphael, New Day Will Rise for Israel. I am quite sure that this will qualify. Actually, I'm certain that this will qualify. It's second in the odds to win the televote overall. And the odds, yes, have not been all that right in the semifinals, but I don't think they're wrong about this. Also with the big televote last year. So this is in the running, I think, even to win this semi. The staging, there is two things here. My personal opinion, I would have liked a more stripped back staging for this song, like for Switzerland, like the one we have for Switzerland, or maybe something like France has. But I think the casual viewers will like the staging, find it impactful, and so I don't have a doubt that Israel will qualify and is actually the most likely qualifier up until now. Then we have next, Abor and Tuna for Germany with Baller. So a nice interruption there between the ballad from Israel, and then we have another ballad, Prince from Serbia. I believed in this from the very beginning, so you probably know what my prediction for this will be. It is in a national final, in a national language. It is well performed, well sung as well. It is a bit less high intensity, and I think it could stand out in this semifinal, especially towards the end of the semifinal. And I'm going to put Serbia in the likely qualifier pile, actually. Maybe you're surprised by that, but I'm going to stick with that. Sorry. Then we have last but very much not least, Erika Wigman with Ich komme for La Finlande sur mi. What can I say that hasn't already been said about this? It's last in the running order, which will help it stand out. She performs this incredibly well. It is a good song. It has clicked for me. I like it now. It is well composed. It is catchy. It has different elements that a lot of different people can like. The performance is a bit more subdued. So I think the win in the semifinal will be between Finland and Israel, probably. So now... how many do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the green categories, and I need 2 more and 2 more to not qualify. Let's look at the ones I have in the question marks. Montenegro, Latvia, Malta, and Luxembourg. I mean, Malta will make it. I'm quite sure. Let's put... maybe Austria in the sure qualifier. I have some space, so I don't think it's a sure qualifier, but I need the space now. Sorry about that. So Malta is in the likely qualifier pile. Then Montenegro, Latvia. Latvia has more support from the UK, Ireland, Lithuania. Montenegro basically only has Serbia, unfortunately. I'll put Greece in the likely qualifier or sure qualifier. And Unfortunately, I think having Serbia so late on will hurt Montenegro's chances, and I just think they don't have enough support in the semi. Very unfortunately, I think Latvia then makes it, probably, maybe, because it feels so authentic and people seem to like authentic entries. So let's say Latvia makes it, and then maybe Luxembourg and Ireland do cancel each other out, actually. Let's think about this again. I have sure qualifiers Finland, Israel, Lithuania, Austria, and Greece. I think that makes sense. Then Australia, yeah, Czechia, kind of, Serbia, a bit less sure. Malta, I'm quite sure. God. I think it is between Latvia and Luxembourg for me, which probably means it will be something completely different. But yes, this is my final prediction for now. Luxembourg doesn't have all that much support. Maybe they have France voting for them, but it is a good song. Should I switch Luxembourg and Latvia? The running order, Latvia is earlier on. Yeah, this makes sense, even though Latvia has the support. Oh my God, sorry. I don't want to make this too long. I think because Latvia has the support and Luxembourg doesn't, this is my prediction. This is it, my prediction for semi-final number 2. Do let me know if you have a completely different one. That will be interesting. And do let me know also why you have a different prediction from me. Thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe to the channel. I'll do a review of Semi 2. I'll do an analysis of the running order for the final. I'll tell you about the dress rehearsal of Semi 2 tomorrow morning, probably. And lots of fun stuff coming your way. So do subscribe. And if you do that, I might see you in my next video. See you then, and bye-bye.